Hey everybody, it's RaceCar0 here from ForgeWatch.com with another SolForge gameplay video. I've decided to change the format up a little bit this week and take some time to respond to a few of the comments from last week's video. A few of you had some good suggestions for how the game could have gone better, and I think it's worthwhile to discuss it a little bit. Justice on the SolForge forum says, I think you're undervaluing Vengeful Spirit. One of the main ways the Tempest deck wins is by spamming Forge Plate Sentries late game. Vengeful Spirit is your second best answer behind Cull. It's really not a bad idea to level it up immediately, and especially when you chumped that level 2 Forge Plate with the Flesh Fiend, you should have chumped with the Vengeful Spirit instead to give it -3/-3. I basically think of him as extra copies of Cull. Here he's talking about a play that I made on turn 6. As I've said a lot in the past, I'm really not a big fan of Vengeful Spirit overall, but it does have its place. This is probably one of those scenarios that actually makes a lot of sense. The -3/-3 makes Forge Plate a lot less intimidating to block later on. Given the fact that the AI was leveling Forge Plates pretty aggressively, having some Vengeful Spirits leveled would likely have been a great help later on, much more so than a Flesh Fiend. Let's go to another comment. David Lung 197726 says on YouTube, I would have put level 2 Hydra in front of level 2 Worm instead of level 2 Devourer. At least you can gain some board position. Sure, Devourer is a far better card, but it seemed like he needed to stabilize a little bit. Okay, so this time he's talking about a move that I make just after the shuffle going into player level 3. I have to say that I'm inclined to agree with him as well. My thought process was looking forward to the opportunity of having a level 3 Grimgon in my deck over a level 3 Hydra, and this is a little short-sighted, considering that at the start of the turn, I'm down 3 creatures to none, 2 of which are on the offensive, and my opponent is also up 15 to 20 life. Stabilizing the board is the better play at this point, even if it means I'm passing up a more powerful card like Grimgaunt. I already know that I'm going to have to go into an unfavorable trade with the Forge Plate. It's probably best if I don't make that worse by settling for an even trade with the Lightning Worm when I don't have to. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the actual SolForge playing part of this video, where I'm going to play some SolForge, and you guys get the chance to critique me and to see whether or not I could do anything better than what I've done in the actual playing of the game. I'll just give a little bit of my commentary, some of my thought process behind why I'm doing what I'm doing, and hopefully that'll be enough to start some conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to all of our videos here on ForgeWatch and to check us out at ForgeWatch.com. But let's get to some action here. I'll go ahead and start my one-player game, and we'll see what the AI decides to give me to play against them. We're back with the Necreum Utera deck, our fair friend. So I learned a lot from the comments that you guys were giving, that maybe I should give Vengeful Spirit a little bit more clout than I have in the past. And we'll see if that comes into play here. So I have the opportunity right now to play some cards. Let's see what we want to do here. This is not the kind of scenario where I feel like I should be playing Vengeful Spirit, simply because on a Lightning Worm, what can't kill it? I like the idea getting a Life Shaper out there. So I'm probably going to block the Worm there with that. And then the big question comes, do I want another Life Shaper? Or should I go for the Flesh Fiend to level? I like Flesh Fiend. I feel like he gives you some really great late game advantage just with the way that he continually resurrects. The one major problem I think there is with Flesh Fiend in this particular setup is just that the Tempest deck has a lot of stuff to kind of just handle it. I mean, it can Electronet, it can, spark the guy off the field and kind of lose some of the benefit out of him. Not to mention that Forge Plate trades really, really well with Flesh Fiend. He can actually take out a Flesh Fiend at rank 3, so if you're doing two rank 3, like a rank 3 Flesh Fiend versus a rank 3 Forge Plate, your Forge Plate's going to win every time, so that's kind of one of the major downsides to it. I think I'm going to go with a buffing strategy, so I'll go ahead and drop the Life Shaper into lane 4. We'll do our battle. And a Grove Huntress. Those are some pretty good cards, but let's see what they play. Magma Hound not killing my Life Shaper Savant. Okay. That was really strange. I don't know why they did that, but I'm going to take full advantage of it if I can. I'll go ahead, put the Grove Huntress down, and we'll buff that Life Shaper Savant. So this is another one of those instances. I pointed it out in the last video. Here's another one of the computer just kind of making really strange moves. It would have been really smart for that Magma Hound to ping the Life Shaper in lane 2 instead of the one in lane 4. But I don't know if the way the AI thinks, thought, oh, hey, I'm putting a Forge Plate down. It's going to even trade if I do that over there. I don't know what its thinking was, but it's always best to kill a creature off the board if you get the chance. I feel, at least, when you have something like a Magma Hound, as opposed to trying to find a good advantage somewhere else, because as you can see here, it gave me that opportunity to play the Grove Huntress to get that 1/1 buff there and give it to Life Shaper, and now make that Forge Plate trade instead of it being an uneven trade because of the armor. Now it's an even trade. So that was really silly. I think I'll just go ahead and drop Cavern Hydra in lane 5. Actually, it was an uneven trade because that +1 attack just killed it straight off. So now I'm actually ahead. I'm dealing damage to them. They're in a really bad place. Let's see what they got. That was a really weird kind of glitchy moment in there. I don't know what exactly caused that. Okay, so normally I think I would like to play Culls at just about every opportunity when I'm wanting to level my Grimgaunt. But in this instance, why not get 2 creatures dying and buffing him that way instead? So I'll go ahead and drop my Grimgaunt into the lane with the Technosmith, because that's going to be a really good trade there. But in addition to that, I'll go ahead and pop my Echo Wisp into lane 2, copy into 3, and then you're going to see that Volcanic Giant and the Echo Wisp trade, and all of a sudden I'll get a +2/+2 instead of just the +1 that I would have gotten from the Cull. And I have another Cull anyway. Oh, that's sad. So here's where I have a really, really great opportunity to do a lot of damage. I definitely want to drop the Krogrius out. I have a weakness for Krogrius. Those of you who watched the last game saw me lose because I played the Krogrius early, but I really like it. I think it's a fun card, at least in the demo. And since the demo is not really a constructed format, it's just kind of a play for fun scenario. I like to have my Krogrius just, stomping all over them with his breakthrough and his regen and all that kind of stuff. So I usually like to play him if I get him in this first player level. And now we're back to the question again. With the Grimgaunt that's out there, is it better for me to Cull, or should I do something like, I don't know, Enrage the Cavern Hydra and maybe get in a little bit more damage that way? I could also Enrage the Grimgaunt and just make him really scary. It's really, really crazy. And that's one of the major reasons why we banned him from the tournament that we play in forum games, because it's just, you shouldn't have a 15/11 creature before you shuffle. That's just unbelievably strong. And he's only going to keep getting bigger, especially as they continue to give me these wonderful opportunities to make him bigger. Do I want this to play out? I think we'll go Life Shaper, and it should survive, unless he sparks it, but that's neither here nor there. And then, want to do that, it will kill creatures off, it'll get some buffing going on. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and go with that choice there. Let's see what the computer brings. Oh my goodness. Lots of options here. There's a Forge Plate too. So as you remember from the last video, Forge Plate was a really big detriment, but oh my gosh, that's what, 5 turns in, 6 turns in maybe? Golly, that's crazy. But as you can see, it came too little too late. I've had a lot of really great solutions for it, aside from the fact that I just had ridiculously overpowered Grimgaunt out there. I could have dropped an Echo Wisp out there, and then maybe like a level 1 card that buffed it to potentially get past some of the armor. I could have dropped a lot of things. I don't know. There's a lot of ways that you can handle the Forge plate. Although now that I'm looking at it, I don't know that any of them would have been a permanent, just one-for-one trade. It might have taken a couple of cards to actually pull it off. But I think I was in a pretty good position. Obviously, I was in a really good position, winning 80 to -1. Yeah, so tell me what you think about this game. This is kind of one of those prime examples of Grimgaunt just really overrunning the board and really needing to be toned back. This is why I personally find the card to be overpowered. He's ridiculously fun to play in the demo, as I'm sure many of you know. I see tons of screenshots going out on Twitter of people who are just like, oh, check out my awesome 30-30 Grimgaunt just destroying the board or whatever. And it is a lot of fun, but I think in a constructed format, really needs to get toned down because it's only going to get worse as we get more cards and more combos that are able to potentially keep him alive, potentially able to maybe even like do board wipes or all of those kinds of things. And it's kind of a scary thought if he's able to survive a lot of these things and really able to allow you to wreck your opponent so fast. I think this is probably the fastest that I've won with this deck. Normally I've been able to pull off player level 2 victories, but man, never within like 5 or 6 turns. Yeah, that is nuts. Well, thank you for watching. As always, please leave us some comments on YouTube here. Feel free to tweet us. Check us out on ForgeWatch.com. Also, feel free to subscribe to our video channel here. We'll be coming out with many more videos as time goes on, especially when the beta hits. And we'll see you there. Thanks for watching.